Hello everyone, and I wish you a very warm welcome to this course on how to use the STM32G474 microcontroller for power electronics applications. So in this very first lecture, I'm going to give you an overview of what this course is all about and what you can expect from this course. So to begin with, this course is specifically for power electronics engineers who want to get started with using the STM32G474 microcontroller in their power electronic projects. Now, in this course, though there are several ways of accessing this particular microcontroller, we will be using the Nucleo G474RE development board. And this development board has been provided by ST Microelectronics in a very affordable manner for just $20. And therefore, if you are getting started with the STM32G474 microcontroller, this board is probably your best option. If you have other advanced boards, by all means you can continue using them as long as it has the STM32G474 microcontroller chip. Now about this STM32G474 microcontroller. This particular microcontroller is probably one of the latest in the G series with this STM32 microcontrollers, which are basically 32-bit microcontrollers, and has become an extremely popular solution in the power electronics industry due to its comparatively low cost and very high performance. So this particular microcontroller combines the best of both worlds. It is quite affordable, and which means that you can use it for applications that are not very cost sensitive, and at the same time it offers some very high performance with very high speeds, that is very high clock speeds, and also a vast range of peripherals. And therefore, you can use this particular microcontroller in some very demanding power electronic applications that require quite a bit of computations and also need considerable amount of resources in terms of peripherals. Now, for programming this STM32G474 microcontroller, this course I will use the STM32Cube IDE Integrated Development Environment. So this Integrated Development Environment has a combination of all the tools you need. That is, you have an editor for writing your code, and you can also compile the code and download the code onto your microcontroller. That is this kit Nucleo G474RE. For being able to program this microcontroller, I will be using only the technical documentation which can be found freely available from the STM website. Right? So all the technical documentation, all the files that I'll be using are available for free on this website, and these are no special files that need to be purchased separately by you. The only thing that you need to do is to purchase this kit, that is the Nucleo G474RE development board, and that costs around $20. And in the next section, I will describe to you where you can purchase it. So this particular microcontroller has a vast array of peripherals, and as I already said, it's a very powerful microcontroller that can actually perform some very demanding tasks. On the other hand, even though it has a very large array of peripherals, this is a beginner level course, and the purpose of this course is to help power electronics engineers to get started with their power electronics projects, and therefore this course will focus only on those peripherals that are needed for a basic power electronics application. So we are going to consider only those peripherals such as timers, GPIOs, PWMs, and also ADC. These are the basic peripherals that are needed for any power electronics project. There are advanced peripherals such as communication peripherals and many others which we will not cover in this course. I will look at that in an advanced course at a later stage. Now, in this course, I will go deep into the architecture of these specific peripherals, that is the GPIOs, the timers, the PWM ports, and also the ADCs. So these few peripherals that I am selecting, I will go very deep into their architecture, and I will describe in detail how they can be configured with respect to all their configuration registers and each and every bit in those registers. So those peripherals that we are going to select will be dealt with in great detail. And in all these particular examples, not only will you learn the theory such as architecture of the peripherals and the registers and how they need to be configured, but we will also have detailed practical examples with code along sessions where I will be describing how you can build examples from scratch using the STM32Cube IDE, and also with an experimental setup where I will be showing the Nucleo G474 development board which I have purchased. So the videos will contain this development board and how you can make connections to this development board. Now, there are for the STM32 several simpler ways to program the microcontroller. STM32Cube IDE contains some automatic code generation tools. That is, you can just using some clicks, that is, you can use a graphical user interface and just click on certain buttons and it will automatically generate code for you. And I will show some aspects of that because there are some aspects of that which are quite useful and which will make your life much easier. However, for most other purposes, whether it is for configuring different peripherals or whether it is for able to use those peripherals and even to write the interrupt service routine that handles those peripherals in real time, all this will be done using C program. And in these C programs, I will teach you how to read source code, how to understand the contents and structures of different files, how to find out where the files are which are necessary for programming a particular peripheral, and how you should be able to interpret them not only from the source code but also from the technical documentation. So again, in this particular lecture, in this particular course, I will talk about how you can use some of the automatic code generation tools available with the STM32Cube IDE. And there are some which are quite useful and which I believe are something which are recommended for a new user. But then again, I do not believe in using only automatic code generation tools. So therefore, I will talk about how you can combine these two. That is how you can optionally use some features from the automatic code generation tool and in other cases write your own code in order to develop your own projects. So in this course, I will go back and forth between C programs and technical documentation because as I said, in this course, we are going to focus on the details of microcontroller architecture and the associated peripherals. So therefore, I will be using the technical documentation, which is very vast and very detailed in order to write these C programs and in order to execute these C programs. And in this process, you will learn how to reference the technical documentation and how to understand the significance of some of the configuration registers and how to use them in order to set up your peripherals. So this is what this course is all about. And I just wanted to give you an introduction so that you know that this course is about the STM32G474 microcontroller and what we are going to be covering in this course with respect to this particular microcontroller. So if you have any doubts, please do post in the Q&A forum and I'll be happy to help you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next lecture where I will talk about who would be the target students who can benefit from this course. Thank you so much for listening and goodbye for now.